I'm Nitish Bissonauth outside the Spanish consulate here in Toronto on Bloor Street East, where earlier tonight a rally was held in support of Spain's Catalan community, a community that's been fighting all day just to exercise their democratic right to vote in a controversial referendum which could see them separate from Spain. Riot police burst into polling stations across Catalonia, confiscating ballot boxes and voting papers. The Spanish government does not recognize this vote as it was declared illegal by the country's constitutional court. The government saying it closed 93 polling stations today and that more than 800 people were injured, including 13 police officers. Despite that, hundreds of people still lined up in cities throughout the region to cast their votes. Here in Toronto, a rally was held to show support for the people of Spain in light of today's events. Organizers say they are disappointed with Canada's lack of involvement, including Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's stance.
When he says that it is an internal affair, it cannot be an internal affair. The issue of the people to choose is part of the human rights conditions in which it's established universally by the ONU and by the European Union.
People are being attacked and not able to do it. So I see that repression of democracy as the reason that I'm out here today.
Carles Muntaner is a University of Toronto professor and a native Catalan in Toronto who has been following the Spanish government's actions. He says the Spanish government's handling of the separatist movement recalls Spain's recent history of dictatorship. He says Spain could learn from Canada's handling of its own separatist movement.
Canadian government could do a lot to teach the Spanish government democratic instincts to negotiate. And in the case of Canada, it ended up being that the majority of the Quebecois voted to remain. And that could happen as well in the case of Catalonia.
Ballots were counted evening long across Catalonia as people supporting the separatist movement celebrated in the streets. Catalan officials say 90% of those who voted backed independence. Now, even though the votes have been cast, Catalonia's future remains uncertain. Spain's president didn't even acknowledge the vote, and in a televised address, Catalonia's leader said that he would unilaterally declare independence whether or not the country acknowledges the results. From outside the Spanish consulate here in Toronto, I'm Nitish Bissonauth, City News.